This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's 8:01 Bilski time here in America.
Bilski reports coming in. We are only a minute late today.
Only a minute late, not 5 like Bilski thought we would be. There you go. I love it. He calls me. Aren't you getting ready for the show? You got to start in 10 minutes. I look up. It's 7:55. Yeah, you're hilarious, pal. Hilarity. That's all I have to say to you. So, proving that like there is a God and there is a devil in the world. I've been on my diet. This is my 6 weeks into the Livia program and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I had a bunch of stuff to do. So I just decided I would walk to each thing that I did. Right?
Yeah.
Had a bar for breakfast, had a bar for lunch, and I had a moderate-sized dinner, not even leaning toward a big dinner, but a moderate-sized dinner. So I walked to each of my appointments and blah, 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 blah. I got home and I looked at my watch, and I had walked 11 and a half miles. Now, what pisses me off about that is if I had paid attention, I'd have walked 1.5 more miles so I could say, hey, I just walked a half a marathon. But I didn't pay attention in time, right? Here's what I love about this, though. I ate a 100-calorie bar for breakfast, 170-calorie bar for lunch. I had a moderate to even light dinner. I walked 11 and a half miles, and I gained a pound. I'm like, what?
Your body's fighting back.
Body is fighting back, baby. He's like, oh, yeah? You think you're doing that, huh? You know how pissed off I was when I got on that scale? I'm like, God, I bet you I'm down to like 238. Nope, 244. Or not, 240.4.
And how many times a day do you weigh yourself? Like
just once.
Just once? Oh, and you can, I'm guessing you can probably, like, just by the way you feel, can guess pretty accurately how much you weigh. So, yeah, after your walk, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm probably down, to like 238.6.
Yes.
And then when it goes up, that feeling in your stomach is the worst because you're like,
how?
What did I do today?
Did you guys ever used to watch The Biggest Loser when that was on TV?
Yep.
At the beginning I did, yeah.
Yeah.
There was weeks where I and that was like, just because at one point that was like the biggest show in America.
We love watching people lose weight,
right?
As long as I didn't have to.
You'd have it where you'd have, Keith is on there and Keith is sweating his butt off and he's putting in all the work and he's doing everything right. And then it came down to the final weigh-in and he's like, yeah, licking his chops. I'm gonna set the big.
Oh no,
Keith, you added to it was so weird. He would, it's weird how your body sometimes would just defy everything. You do everything right, and it's like actually you're adding weight. It's so weird. So I wouldn't get too discouraged.
Well, I did a little reading up on it. It's basically what you guys just said. My body was fighting back, going, well, we're going to have to hold on to everything that's in here and more, in order to keep moving forward. So yeah, you do all of that and you gain a pound. Gee, thanks. Really appreciate it. That's really nice of you to work with me on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But such is life. We were just talking, a little early about to watch television news and whatever. I mean, I haven't picked up a newspaper in the past 15 years, but it's just murder, 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 murder. Then you tune into television, you see the President of the United States telling on a pretty much all-black college that white people hate them, which he didn't say that straight out, but that's what he implied. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? How is there an upside other than you trying to get black people to vote for you? Why would you do that? And again, it's not the fact that it's Biden or Trump or a Democrat or Republican. That is such an assholian thing to do. I hate politicians more every day. I have one that I like, Jimmy Francis. That's about it.
Was it the mayor of St. Paul?
South St. Paul.
South St. Paul. There we go.
Yeah, and look, there's a couple other ones, but I wouldn't drag him into this mess. I just stop using hatred to make money. Why do you have to do that? But I guess that's maybe the easiest way to make money, get people pissed off and filled with hate. They're very vulnerable. I do hope that people understand. And I learned this from a boxer when I was a kid. The guy was a damn good boxer. I don't think he ever went professional, but he was really good. But he used to use that whole situation. You get people pissed off at you in the ring, man. If you can get them pissed off at you, not just fighting you toe to toe, but they get pissed off at you, you'll beat them every time.
Because then it's not calculated too.
What's that?
They like lose that tactile, that calculatedness. It's like it's blind rage. They act on impulse, not on like process of thought. So
that's exactly what he taught me. He said, do anything you can to piss off your opponent because they'll start effing everything up they touch. Which, it's just. Well, I think I mentioned that guy at the grocery store said, you're a very kind man. And I was like, God, what a nice thing to say. It's so nice to meet a polite, nice person. And then a guy this morning topped it all off. And it was this one I get the little tear in the eye for. I'm walking along the street, and this guy who pretty much looks very, very homeless, black man in America today, he's walking down the street. He looks very tired, even though it's morning and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And he's dragging his stuff behind him. And as he goes by, he glances over at me. And he said, good morning. So I looked at him and I said, good morning, sir. About 3 seconds later, I heard him call out to me. And he goes, thanks for calling me, sir. I'm like, shut up. Be quiet. He was so grateful that I called him sir. But see, I do that. How you doing, sir? Hey, ma'am, how you doing? I guess women don't like ma'am. I guess sir is still okay, but ma'am's not anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, depending on who it is, you get some pushback where they're like, I'm not ma'am. It's like, okay.
Sir is a nice. Men appreciate you call me sir. Like, that's very nice. Mm-hmm. I like that. This guy today, homeless guy, down on his damn luck, and somebody took enough time out of their day to call him sir, and he really appreciated it. It was very, very sweet.
Yeah, it's the little moments that can mean the most to some people sometimes. And like, there's a guy that comes into where I work. He's an older guy. I think he's starting to get dementia. He always comes in by himself.
Oh God!
And they call him the milkman because he comes in and he always orders a glass of milk with his food. Yes, and he's old school. And he's usually kind of difficult to work with because he's hard to understand sometimes. And so he came in yesterday, and so I went up to him like, oh, here, like, you can sit wherever. He pretty much runs the place. I was like, yep, I need my glass of milk, blah, blah, blah. Found out he's like from Des Moines, Iowa. His family moved around a ton. We had like a little 5-minute conversation about, I think he was in the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, nobody ever talks to me. He doesn't have a lot of family left. And he was like, just so grateful to have a conversation. And it's like, yeah, 2 minutes out of my day, make somebody else's day. That's what it's all about.
And I think the reason it happened to me 2 days in a row was that I was paying attention. In other words, it probably happens more than that, but I was paying particular attention to it the last couple of days. People want to like one another. They are told every day on television to not like one another. I do understand that. Pretty much national television, that whole deal. But I just, I don't want to live the rest of my life. First of all, I literally wouldn't give anybody the pleasure of hating them. I would not waste my time hating anyone. Those assholes over at Shithole Central, I wouldn't even waste any time hating them, even though what they did to me was horrible. But I'm not wasting my emotion on those assholes. And look what happened. God paid him back, and now we're all happy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's right.
Exactly
it all works itself out in the end.
But yeah, if you do, pay attention, because that's what I've been doing. Pay attention, because people are saying and doing nice things for you that we probably wouldn't notice. But since I've been paying attention, it's happened every day so far for the last several days. It's very, very nice. No question about it. So I suppose we better take a break. You guys will be bursting down into tears. I understand.
No question. A little emotional.
Yeah, I'm already tearing up.
You know what else happened? Ladies and gentlemen, oh, good. Here's what I love. I'm just telling you that I walk 11 and a half, 12 miles, what the hell ever it was, 11 and a half, I think it was. But I just tell you all about it. First ad, say, I've been on Livia now for quite some time. Hey. If you just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. Can you tune into a podcast? You have to dial in. What do you push a button in?
Yeah, I'd say it's tune in.
Yeah, it's still tune in, no matter what you
tune in. Okay.
It's not the traditional, dial of the radio, but we count it as tuning in.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Barnard for Livia Weight Control Centers. Now's the time to get a jump on some of the Livia Way. Join Livia today. Get your first 8 weeks free. That's a hell of a deal, by the way. In those first 8 weeks, by following Livia's nutrition plan with the help of their expert team of registered dietitians and nutritionists, you can lose up to 20 pounds or more. Imagine how much better you'll feel, not to mention how much better your summer clothes will fit. You can join and also receive a complimentary in-body scan. Now, I did point out, if you just happened to tune in just now, that I walked 11 and a half miles yesterday. I had a bar for breakfast, a bar for lunch, and about a moderate to light dinner. I walk 11 and a half miles. I get on the scale this morning. I gained a pound. But I'm being told that your body fights back. It's like, oh, you're going to work this hard? Okay, well, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to hold on to whatever I can. So it'll come off today, I understand. But that's so weird to bust your ass like that. At 11 and a half miles, you go, oh, here's an extra pound for you to work on. So that's the deal. But I couldn't have reached my goal, my halfway to the goal, a little over halfway to the goal. Well, not that, I'm sorry. I gained that pound, so I'm back on the other side. I got a little more than 25 pounds to lose. Yeah, I hate everyone. Anyway, join today and get your first 8 weeks of Livia's nutrition plan free. Visit livia.com. That's livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia's medical weight loss is now offering GLP-1 medications. They start at just $2.99 a month. They're very, very effective for people. Quiet the food noise and see accelerated results by summer. Visit livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Get a jump on summer the Livia way.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
You damn right. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You have got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, LLC security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser, and Josh will be with us this morning at about, 9 o'clock. Looking forward to it.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We're back. Judd Zulgad is with us. What's happening, homie?
Not too much. Timberwolves fever. I'm sure you talked about it with Phil yesterday. That's the biggest thing right now in town.
I have people coming up to me on the street in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. Tommy, your team won. I didn't even know you knew who I was. But since I walk every day, you run into a lot of the same people while you're out for your walk every day.
Sure.
So they get to kind of know you, and it's just really, really sweet. But they're all excited for me because the Timberwolves are playing so well, which is nice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a great story. I mean, the excitement in town is so much fun. As you well know, we don't get this much. And, you know, It reminds me of 91, 87, just with the overall excitement. And now you start to get, you know, sports fans and non-sports fans, people that don't even really care about basketball, who care about this.
Right.
And it makes it more fun. So it's really cool to see, because we just, in the starting with 2000, it feels like it's been so rare. And the Vikings is great when they do well, but the Vikings thing is it's one game, like
Right.
This was a 7-game series, and this is the first time a team has been to the Western Conference Finals since the Wolves went to the Western Conference Finals in 2004, because the Wild went in 2003, and that was it.
Yep. That's very true. 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, how about that?
Look at what's happened since 2004. The economy collapsed twice. So that's really great.
Yep.
Honest to God, it's a little scary when you look at it that way, but no, it's a hell of an accomplishment. There's no question about that. Although yesterday, well, somebody's coming in. Oh, Jude must be coming. Jude wants to come in and see Tevin. That's what it is. Tevin and Jude talk all the time.
Yep.
Oh,
I didn't know. That's good. That's very nice.
Here he comes.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
Jude.
Look at Jude.
Jude, where's Tevin? Where is he? He's very excited. But in any case, God, what was I just talking about before Jude knocked on the door?
Yesterday, you said something about yesterday.
There was something going on yesterday. I don't remember what the hell it was, but it'll come back to me, I'm sure. You know, that's why I left the TV on, because I knew Catherine had to leave. He will sit and watch television now while I'm on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn's best friend's dog. Like she leaves when she goes to work.
Right.
I don't know if it's TBS or what, but there's a each weekday. I think there's a marathon Friends session on, and he and this dog loves Friends, so he just watches it all day long.
I love that.
It's hilarious.
Little puppies. Oh, so okay, here we go. Well, this is really great. So Jude walks in. You have no internet, and then all of a sudden it popped back on again. I do have the internet. I mean, you guys can hear me fine, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep, crystal clear.
Jude, what did you unplug when you came in? Answer me. Oh no, he's pretending to sleep. I'm ignoring you.
That's he's going to pretend to sleep, and then he's going to go back. Does he now at times get up on the chair behind you?
Oh yes.
Okay, because that strikes me as a great nap chair for a dog.
For me too.
Oh heck yeah!
For me, it's a wonderful nap chair for me. So that's that deal. But yeah, I mean, it's very, very exciting. Well, first of all, we're excited to come back to Minnesota and see everybody. And I know what I was going to tell you. So I was talking to Alex, because Alex is a big Timberwolves fan and all the rest of it. And she's got Seiji, her 6-year-old, about to turn 7 years old next month. A couple of weeks, as a matter of fact. But we're talking about the Timberwolves and this and that and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, Sage goes, yeah, well, I scored a touchdown and a 2-pointer in kids' football this week. He wanted to know, because apparently they play touch football or whatever in the summertime for the kids. Apparently scored a touchdown and an extra 2-pointer. So you can forget the Timberwolves. I'm in the backseat here. Like, okay.
That's awesome.
Hilarious.
Did you see your baseball team last night?
I did not, because I was messing around with stuff I don't like to mess around with, but I had to.
Okay, well they got drilled in Washington, so they've gone from being swept by the Yankees, which is bad, but the Yankees are really good, to being swept by Cleveland, which isn't a bad team, but it's not
great.
But it's certainly not the Yankees. To being drilled with their ace Pablo Lopez on the mound last night at Washington. 7 consecutive losses. This is the most up and down team. It's incredible. They went from that bad start to going 17-3. They won 12 consecutive games. They went 17-3, and now they have lost. And it's in perfect. What's hilarious about it is it's in perfect 20-game increments. So I think it was 7-13, 17-3, and now they have lost 7 consecutive games.
I just don't. Well, I do understand, and once again, they don't play as a unit, and it's across the board. Defense in professional baseball now is nowhere near as good as it used to be, not even close. I mean, guys letting balls slip under their glove, and maybe you should look down at the ball while it's going into your glove instead of trying to look up at the camera. Jesus.
Yeah.
Now the Twins are pissing me off to no end. I couldn't even watch it last night.
But I would like to right now thank Bally and Xfinity. Their disagreement has caused me not to be able to watch the games. I was very upset during the win streak. Now I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. I agree. Look at all they've given to you.
They're just trying to help me out. They were trying to save me from myself, and I didn't know it. Sometimes you don't know that.
No, you don't. That's true. May I ask you guys a question? Because I don't know this. I don't know of one other friend who has ever called and said, damn, I don't know what I'm going to do. They're not showing the baseball games. They're not showing this. They're not showing. I have not heard anybody in any other market go through this like Minneapolis St. Paul does. Does that happen elsewhere too?
Yeah, I think there's 12 Valley teams. So now in some of those markets, Xfinity and Comcast aren't the main providers.
Right.
So it's affecting some, but here it's the main provider, at least on cable, in the Twin Cities. So, but yes, it's happening elsewhere, maybe not to the degree everywhere that it's happening here.
The problem I have is when I get back, because I'm watching it on the MLB network right now, but you can't get the games on the MLB network in Minneapolis, from what I understand.
No, they're blacked out.
Just direct TV will be your best friend.
DirecTV, I got that at the house. That's good.
Then you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, do I want to watch them on DirecTV? That's what I want to know.
No, at the rate they're going, absolutely not.
They're terrible right now. They were terrible. They were really good, almost great, and now they're terrible again.
12-3 last night, though.
Oh, God.
12 runs.
They've only beaten Washington in Washington once, I think.
Oh, really?
I think once. Somebody mind looking that up?
And is it correctable, what we're seeing from the Twins? Is it something that they can play their way out of, or is this just a bad team that's going to have a bad season?
You know what? It's weird because that 17-3 stretch was so dominant. Yeah, they beat some bad teams, but eventually they started to beat some pretty good teams. I mean, yeah, it's correctable, but I don't think they're that good a team. I just don't. I think this lineup we assumed was going to be, really, really good is just not that good. Unfortunately.
I have a question for all of you. Is Arise a pain in the ass?
No.
Why does he keep getting shuffled around? Why did we ever let him leave? I will never understand that.
Because the game today doesn't put a premium on guys that are big average guys, and he doesn't really have a position. That's his biggest thing. He doesn't have a very good glove. And so, if this was 1976, he doesn't get traded.
Oh, there's no way. Well, what about DH? Let him play DH. Who cares?
Not enough power, I think, is the problem.
Got to have power for a DH, do you?
Okay. And the Twins, teams like the Twins like to have that be a rotating spot if possible.
Yeah,
but,
they do.
But again, the problem is, this has been a nightmare because if you think about it, going back to, so they beat Toronto in that best of 3, which was great.
Right.
And then they lose to Houston, but they've got momentum. And think about the PR nightmare. From there, they announced they're going to cut payroll, which is hamstring. I mean, it's and that's caused a problem. I mean, there's no question about it.
Yep.
They announced they're going to cut payroll. They then say, well, but here's the thing with TV, we're going to cut payroll because our TV revenue is going to go down substantially, but the games will be streamed. Everyone could see our games. Then they come back towards the end of the off season and say, oh, you know what? Sorry. The games won't be streamed.
Yeah.
They're going back to Bally, and we're still going to get a check. Not as much, but so basically what you said was going to happen didn't happen. And then on May 1st, they say the biggest cable, the Twins didn't say it. They've ducked. Bally and Xfinity / Comcast, the agreement ends. And so we can't watch the games. This has been a complete debacle, PR debacle for the Twins.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But they seem to go through that all the time. We have a football team that cannot win the Super Bowl. We have a hockey team that can't even get to the Stanley Cup. I mean, I just...
That's right, the Wolves.
The Wolves, baby. That's all
why
I
we
have
have
to
the Wolves.
say.
So they're in the Western Conference Finals. What more could we ask for?
Well, I do agree with that. There's no question about it. But I don't know. Minnesota's an interesting place. Let me just put it that way.
Oh yeah, on many
levels.
Levels. Exactly right. Exactly right. Now, did you guys talk about the Ant Edwards quote to Charles Barkley in the post game a couple of nights ago?
No, I think it might have come
Bring
up.
your ass, Judd.
Bring your ass. Where Barkley said, now, first of all, Barkley's full of crap because he said he hasn't been here in 20 years. He was here in 2019 for the Final Four at US Bank Stadium, but bring your ass has now become the state motto. Visit Minnesota, bring your ass.
Right. That needs to be on like our tourism commercial.
If you go and type in bringyass.com, it directs you to exploreminnesota.com.
That's awesome.
Works for me. So basically, Minnesota has bring your ass in basketball and a big sausage in baseball.
Yeah, we've got all.
Yeah, you just nailed it.
Like, okay, whatever that all means, I don't know, but good, something to pay attention to, right?
Yeah, and Judd, speaking of post-game interviews and comments, Michael Malone, the head coach for the Denver Nuggets, is in the media because he told a reporter that they asked a stupid-ass question after the game.
Love that.
You being somebody that has interviewed a ton of athletes over your time, have you ever asked a stupid-ass question or been in the room when somebody has been, a coach or player is going off on one of your fellow reporters?
Oh, both. I definitely have. I definitely have asked. The thing about that question is the reporter was trying to get Malone to talk because he was basically giving short answers because he was so pissed off. And so, the question itself was fine. He's trying to get him to elaborate on the fact that they blew a 20-point lead. I'm trying to think if I've definitely seen the guy that would snap a little bit, or at times a lot more than that. Mike Zimmer would not tolerate if he was in a bad mood and he didn't like you. Like there were certain reporters he didn't like, that he would definitely snap. But I think what set Malone off, and it's the same thing that set Cam Newton off after they lost the Super Bowl, I think it was in Santa Clara, was you could hear the Timberwolves celebrating in his press conference. Now, I don't know how that's in Denver. I don't understand how they didn't build, like, why are you so close to what you've got to know that's going to be a problem, right? So after that loss, but he could hear the Wolves like literally, hooping and hollering. And so I think that's what ticked him off. But the question was fine. He snapped. But I will say the reporter came out and said he's ordinarily very good. He's clearly just ticked off, which I liked because I think Malone he's pretty good to cover.
Yeah.
So. He was always good. All right, Pally. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow, see what's happening. You going to stay away from the Twins?
I'll probably dip in on radio. I've gone back now. I'm a CCL guy.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm listening on CCO. That's how I get my Twins. The nice thing is I don't feel guilty at all because I'm not paying a cent for it. When things go haywire, I shut it off.
So Danny Gladden's still doing the games?
Doing 100 this year, but he's not. So
is he?
Right now it is Glenn Perkins.
Oh, I like Glenn Perkins.
He's really good, actually. Really good.
Yeah, he does a good job. Well, that makes me kind of sad because I'm not going to run into Dan Gladden scowling at me 5 times again this year if he's not here.
I'm sure you've got a good chance still. 100 games is quite a bit.
I get him to scowl at me at Convention Grill usually is when it is. I go to the Convention Grill and Gladden's in there and he looks at me like he wants to kill me. It's hilarious.
All these years.
All these years.
All these years. Let bygones be bygones, Danny.
Oh, God. My favorite was when I got threatened, though, by Al Newman. I'm like, you're a lollipop guild. What do you threaten people? Oh, okay. Whatever.
I love the fact that he didn't like you because.
Oh, Gladden or.
No. That's not surprising. Gladden's surly. Gladden's cantankerous. No, Al.
Al did not like me very much.
I don't get
it. What are you going to do? Who cares? That's one thing. I don't hate anybody, and I don't care if anybody hates me. You can hate my guts all you want. I don't give a shit if you hate me or not.
It's actually more fun if they hate you.
It probably is. You're right about that.
Anyway, all right, boys.
All right, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See y'all later.
Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. K&L Surplus and Ammo, Line of Lakes. My choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business. He's great at getting you the right firearm for your needs. I've talked to you many times about that. You do need someone who knows what they're doing. The right firearm is very important. K&L Surplus and Ammo also works with local groups on things like raffles and auction fundraisers. If your group has a fundraiser coming up, make sure to call Jim at K&L. Their number is 763-757-2614. He can put together a great package for your event and help you raise more money. K&L Surplus and Ammo's on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone, 763-757-2614, or, good idea, you can visit them online, www.klgunstore.com.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. It's very nice of you. To thank you, they're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. It won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com, and please do use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Chris Egert, Channel 5's Chris Egert, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. What's happening, Pally?
Could be stormy today.
Stormy weather.
Mm-hmm. It's a forecast first alert day today.
We're getting in a car in about 51 hours to head back to Minneapolis, but I will tell you this about Florida. As soon as May 1st comes up, it absolutely pours every afternoon for about an hour and then just stops. Yep. It's beautiful, pours for an hour, and then it's beautiful again. It's like, what is that?
We used to live in Orlando, and every day, no matter what, like clockwork. But how about the lightning? The lightning is insane in Florida.
Oh, yes. It is unbelievable. Yeah, these systems just kind of come, because they come in off the Gulf. They come from the Gulf Coast. They come from the south. They come from the ocean to the east. I mean, there's a lot of ways for storms to get at you. No doubt about it. But, like I said, rains for an hour. And it's really kind of cool because it's hotter than hell in the morning, rains for an hour, and then it's cool for about an hour and a half.
For about an hour. And then all it does is turn it into like a terrarium. And then it just gets all
exactly right.
all humid and stuff again. But yeah, it was and we'd always tell people if they come to town, if they're going to go to Disney or something, I'd be like, well, just know this. In the afternoon, there's going to be a thunderstorm. So try to get your stuff done early and plan on a couple hours that you're not going to be able to be outside. And it always happens that way.
No doubt about it. So we just keep moving forward in life. That's all we have to do. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've not had much for severe weather in Minnesota so far this year. So, the conditions are there for it. Not saying there's going to be a tornado outbreak or anything, but definitely a higher chance than we've had in a while of something happening. So
I could see that.
Yeah.
No question about it. But I would just, we opened up the show. Tevin brought up the fact that you turn on the national news now. It's all it is people getting shot to death in the streets. It's just everybody thinks they can do whatever they want, and they're encouraged to be angry, which I don't really understand. Now, I've already complained twice about it, so I'll do it one more time, and that's it. How the President of the United States can infer that white people hate black people in a speech at a black college. I will never understand why he would do something like that. Did you see the speech?
I listened to part of it, yeah.
Why would he say that? I mean, I don't like Tevin, but that's just one guy.
I was like, how did he tell the world that Tom doesn't like me at this?
Yeah, I don't like Tom doesn't like Tevin, according to the President of the United States.
That would be an interesting topic for him to bring up.
That would be rather interesting. But, no, I just wish these politicians, and it's on all sides, would you stop with this? We need people to be in a good mood. I'll tell you very quickly. I already told these guys a story. I'll be very quick. Walking down the street, the homeless guy coming my way, black man in America today. And as he walks by, he goes, "Good morning." I said, "Good morning, sir." And about 2 seconds later, I heard behind me, "Thank you for calling me sir." It was so sweet. He was so touched the fact that somebody would call him sir. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for in the world. The guys at the grocery store going, "Hey, you're a very kind person. Thank you for calling me sir." That's what I'm looking for. And I don't give a damn what the hell your color is, your orientation. I don't care. As long as you're not an asshole, you're in my club.
I on this topic, I didn't listen to the interview, but I read the interview. Nora O'Donnell from CBS interviewed the Pope recently.
Yep.
And I'm not going down the road of the Pope and the Catholic Church, and if you're Catholic or that or whatever, but I do think he said something in there that was pretty profound for everybody. And it was, he said something about everyone in the world just is the indifference and how everyone's indifferent to everything. Mm-hmm. And not what I thought that was really interesting. And I do kind of think as a culture, we're at each other's throats and screaming down the other one, or we're just so indifferent about anything that we're non-caring. And that's not a great place to be, right? Like it was, I want to go back and watch it. And he's speaking in Spanish anyway, so I wouldn't understand it. But.
Right. I watched a bit of it last night.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how we need to take care of each other. But what people need to understand is it's not just aimed toward one group. We all need to take care of each other.
Right.
That's it. Get that going on. First of all, I was very, very upset because every time I see the Pope on television, what pops into my head?
Go ahead.
Find the Pope into the pizza.
Yeah. That's right. Father Guido Sarducci.
Father Guido.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but I didn't know for sure. I assumed that's what you meant, but
yeah, absolutely. Find the Pope into the pizza. I loved Father Guido. I grew up Catholic, man. How could you, a Catholic, not like Father Guido Sarducci?
Yep, I remember that. I remember that character well.
So then you get the real Pope, and I'm still thinking about, well, is he going to find the pizza?
I did think it was interesting too that this Pope lives in the guest quarters. He doesn't live in in the big fancy palacey type. Although I'm sure the guest quarters are still quite nice, but
sure.
I don't know. It says a lot about. And again, I'm not trying to. I know the papacy is a controversial topic. I just and I know this Pope has had some. Controversial takes on certain things too, but I don't know. I guess I admire the fact that he's not running around in his Prada shoes and was that the last one, Ratzenberger?
Yeah.
I don't remember what. Yeah. So,
what a world we live in, isn't it amazing? First of all, how do you come up with the idea of a pope anyway? I've just decided that I'm the one that's right next to God and you're beneath me. Oh, okay.
Well, isn't that kind of the genesis why other Christian religions don't buy into the Catholicism, because of the hierarchy of the church and because of the Pope and you as a former Catholic you're Catholic, former Catholic.
Well, I still am Catholic because my mother's dead. So what am I going to do? Say I'm not Catholic anymore?
Isn't it kind of like believe that the Pope is divine?
Some of them do. I never thought anybody was divine other than Catherine. Ah, what do you think? Use that, baby.
And that, my man, is a good move. You're a smart man.
Catherine,
stick with
how
that.
are you this morning?
Stick with that, and you're doing fine.
That's exactly right. Look, I got nothing against the Pope or whatever, but I've never paid any attention to what popes talk about or archbishops or any of the rest of it. I told you the one time we got caught up in the sacristy stealing palms on Palm Sunday so we could lie to our parents and tell them we went to church. And Guy Laurent, who's no longer with us, he said the whole thing in the sacristy, all they've got left are the effed up ones. And the Archbishop and Monsignor were right behind us. That did not go well. Oh, a couple of seventh graders saying that in the sacristy. Oh, yeah.
Did you get a beat down right there?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
It worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
I was an altar boy, too, for about 4 days before that. I was an altar boy for, I think, 4 days, because then I got fired right after that. Do altar boys get fired, or am I the only one that ever got fired?
I think most get relieved of their duty, but you might be the only one that got fired.
The only one that got. Are you Catholic, AJ?
I maybe I don't maybe. I don't know. I used to go to church quite a bit with my family, and not so much anymore.
I understand that. Catherine likes to go to church once in a while. And by the way, that was a coincidence too. Oh, you found a nice Catholic girl. I didn't know she was Catholic. Just turned out that she was. So, and I got nothing against the Catholic Church. I had many, many fun times, Catholic school and the church. And, they were always very giving. One thing about St. Joseph's Church down, which is not even there anymore, but that was the first place I ever saw homeless people come and get meal bags. They would prepare these bags of meals for homeless people, which I thought was wonderful. No question about it. So, it's one of those deals where you just kind of really admire somebody like that.
Yeah, the church, well, there's a lot of really good things that get done. And no matter what church, a lot of church congregations, but it's when the bad is so bad that, that's when you lose a lot of people. But anyway, I don't even know how do we go down the rabbit hole in this anyway.
Well, I can get you out of it. Why don't the four of us get together and restart the Inquisition? What do you think? The Spanish Inquisition.
Great idea, Tom.
It'll be wonderful. I'll carry the big cross.
Yeah, listen, you want a one-legged warrior, I'm your guy.
You know what I really love about Inquisitions back then? They always ended up in someone's death. Really? I thought you were inquiring. I don't really understand. Don't really understand why you had to kill me, but other than that, who did a great job with that was Monty Python. They had a wonderful series of Spanish Inquisition stories. It was great.
I love Monty Python. It's still, and most of it to me is still funny, but
very, very funny. How about the Irish mom standing at the sink washing dishes? There are 7 little children running around. As she's washing the dishes, another baby falls out. And she looks at her little daughter and goes, "Get that baby, would you, dear?" Irish mom's just kicking kids out willy-nilly, whatever works. I love that stuff, man. It's very funny. All right, so any closing words?
Nah, just everyone who's in the Twin Cities, just be aware that there could be severe weather today. So
there's going to be a lot in America, from what I understand. A lot of severe weather across the United States.
The atmosphere's juicy and prime for it.
Juicy and prime.
Juicy. I'm hungry now.
Man. All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of... we got a special guest coming up in just about 5 minutes. That'll be good. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's time to think about the high taxes in Minnesota and how much you could be saving with a Sioux Falls location. One of the first things Minnesota companies that have expanded or moved to Sioux Falls notice are the lower tax bills. Companies don't pay corporate or personal state income tax, and their other expenses are lower in Sioux Falls, too. Those business leaders started at our website, SiouxFallsDevelopment.com, where you'll find a lot of the information you need to make the Sioux Falls decision. You'll discover just how quickly and efficiently you can get your operation started in Sioux Falls. Not only will your business be up and running sooner, you'll also be making higher profits. The National Tax Foundation's new index shows Minnesota at number 45, paying too many taxes, and South Dakota is at number 2. I said number 2. One of the best tax climates in the nation, as a matter of fact. 2024 is the time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Check out SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
It is indeed. I know we're a little early for Mona, but just let me know when she's ready to go, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep an eye on the phone here.
Magnificent, ladies and gentlemen. 8 common pieces of advice that we should stop following. Do you have any idea? Is there a piece of advice that you think we should stop following? Because I don't really have an opinion on this.
No, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head.
I feel like, is this going to be one of those like misleading headlines where it's just super old advice? Like
maybe, yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know, but I'm curious to hear. I'm curious to hear.
There are a bunch of sayings, mantras, and advice that people keep repeating, even though we all know they are mostly ring hollow, or maybe they do work for you, which is a possibility, I suppose. A website has collected a bunch of information, a list of common pieces of advice and sayings we should stop following because they're outdated. Number 1, don't go to bed angry. This idea is that it can be better than arguing when you are tired and, you know, kind of irritable anyway. Maybe things seem different in the morning. Never give up. See, that's one I could never walk away from. I love never give up.
Yeah, that's a weird one to put on the list. Like, hey, guys, maybe we should all just give up.
And speaking of somebody that never gives up, we've got Mona on the line.
Mona never gives up. I'm sure that's absolutely true. Mona Scott Young, ladies and gentlemen, the Queens of R&B Tour with Xscape, SWV, plus it goes on and on and on. Mona, how are you?
I never give up.
You never give up. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that.
Fantastic. How are you today?
I'm magnificent. Somebody told me yesterday, Mona, and I don't remember what it was, but they know since I was a teenage boy that I've been a huge Marvin Gaye fan forever and ever and ever. Was it his birthday yesterday? Somebody told me it was a Marvin Gaye day yesterday for some reason. I don't know if it was his birthday or not. Does anybody know?
Really? I do not know. I know Busta Rhymes had a birthday. I think Ronald Isley's having a birthday.
Oh.
Huh. We should look that up. But shout out to Marvin Gaye all day, every day.
Marvin Gaye, the best of all. Only I, by the way, Mona, would be a fan of a guy, a brilliant, brilliant performer who gets shot to death by his own father. Only I could come up with that, Mona.
Well, no. There are millions and millions of fans globally. That is an icon, sir. Yes, the music is timeless and unparalleled. That voice, that, showmanship, no, you are talking about an icon.
Mona, I got to be honest with you. I'm a guy. I grew up around. It was called soul music when I was a kid because I'm 72 years old now. But it was first called soul music when I was a kid. Before that, it was called race music. Actually, I didn't even know that until later on. Like in the 50s, soul music was called race music, which was kind of an interesting thing.
Well, what's good about that is that at least the race that created it was being credited.
Yes, right. That's very, very true.
Soul music is black music, R&B music, rock and roll, all of that.
I love it, but I just don't want rhythm and blues to ever go away. It kind of does. Look, and then, rap came along and it took its place and it got huge and all the rest of it. But Mona, I cannot stand a world where R&B doesn't exist. I will tell you that.
Yeah, they tried to say it was dead, just like they tried to say hip-hop wouldn't last. But I think, history has proven them all wrong. R&B music, I think, throughout the ages has been the soundtrack to every period, even when it wasn't, as front and center. It has always been a mainstay. And I think now we're seeing that resurgence. Everything is cyclical. And, especially 90s R&B is at its height right now. And that's why the timing for the Queens of R&B Tour couldn't be better. We've got, some of our 90s icons in terms of female R&B music all on one stage.
Now, you got to come and visit Uncle Tommy. That'd be me. You got to look. Queens of R&B Tour means you got to come to town, and then you got to come and see Uncle Tommy.
There you go. Yes, we're going to be coming through there, and it's going to be a fantastic show.
God, I just love this idea. Just to be saluting R&B just made me happy today, Mona. I will tell you that I'm very, very happy.
Oh, wonderful. Listen, that's what we're hoping to do, right? This is going to be just a night of incredible music, incredible performances, and I think people should just come out, whether it's like girls' night out, guys' night out, couples' night out, whatever it is, there's something for everyone. And it's just going to be a fantastic night of entertainment and great music.
Mona, was there one song that you can look back at when you were a little girl and you heard that song and went, man, that's what I want to do? Did that happen to you?
Oh, my God, there are just so many songs, right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up, of course, on, listening to music being played in the house. And so there's so many songs that I associate, coming up in time. And then in different periods of time, there's just everything from, like you mentioned, Marvin Gaye and, the Supremes. And I'm up there in age. I may sound young. But then, all the artists of today, like, Cardi and Money Long and, So the music, I think, is what keeps me personally perennially young because it's just, such a indicator of where we are as, a community, whether it's hip hop, enjoying its heyday, or whether it's like what we're experiencing now, this kind of nostalgic throwback feel to R&B. It's like it's the soundtrack of our lives. So.
Yeah, no question about that. Like I said, I mean, that album, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, came out, I believe I was either 15 or 16. It will always be my favorite album. But that was an era at the same time when Jimi Hendrix broke in rock and roll, and like really great guitar work in rock and roll. I was very, very lucky when I was 15, 16. Just a great era for music, Mona. It was wonderful.
Yep. And that's why, again, I think it's important that every generation has their musical heroes, but I also feel it's just as important that, every generation understands the history of music, right? Because it's always funny to me when they hear something that's been sampled and they credit the, current artist with that piece of music. It's important for us to expose our kids to all types of genres and all kinds of music, and for them to understand kind of the roots and where it comes from. That's the only way I think it continues to, evolve and survive.
Okay, so when people come to the show, Queens of R&B Tour, what can they expect? It sounds like a wonderful, wonderful time to me.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be, girls' night out, guys' night out, couples' night out.
Yep.
I think that, these ladies have all had hit records that we can connect to a period in our lives and that are going to evoke all kinds of good times, heartbreak, love, joy. So just be prepared to be entertained and to have these women coming together. I think it's a testament to, the power of the female sisterhood that exists amongst these ladies and that we're going to see shine through in their performances. So just be ready to be entertained.
Well, I tell you what, you just convinced me of something. I love my wife dearly, but just from what you just said, my wife's going to say, you know what, Tom, I'm going to go see Queens and R&B, but why don't you just stay at home because I want to have a good time with the women.
Hysterical. Listen, if that's what it is, absolutely, just stay home. Maybe you could pull some of your guys together and go out there as well.
Oh, see, we could just sneak in the back door, get a bunch of guys to go see it. Like I said, I've been a huge R&B fan since I was a little boy. It's just to see that, because you don't see that phrase R&B, or I don't know if that's a phrase, but that usage R&B a lot anymore. So I'm leaving it up to you, Mona Scott Young. You got to bring it back for Uncle Tommy. What do you think?
I will definitely, but I also want to mention that, don't forget the Missy Out of This World, the Missy Elliot experience with Missy, Busta Rhymes, Ciara, and Timbaland is the other tour that's going across the country this summer. Both of them are Mon Ami Live Nation productions, and you could get tickets to both tours at livenation.com. So make sure that whether you're at the Queens of R&B, or at the Out of This World tour, that you are out there getting entertained this summer.
Are you guys, do you have a specific schedule, so maybe you'll cross paths at some time in the United States, or have you got it kind of planned out where it'll be separated by weeks or a couple of months or something like that?
Well, actually, the tours go out 1 week apart, right?
Oh,
If
okay.
you go to livenation.com, you'll see the routing for both of these tours. But because I can only be in one place at one time, they are going to be, they were cross-routed, so I'll just be bouncing back and forth. But yeah, they're moving across arenas and amphitheaters this summer separately because we also want to give the fans a chance to see both. So when they come into your market, you can look at the schedule and hopefully go to both shows.
Well, why wouldn't you anyway? I'm going to go to both shows. Do you know where you're appearing in the Twin Cities yet? Or because I can look it up, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, I actually think you might have to go to a surrounding area. I don't know necessarily that we are in Minneapolis proper, but yep, take a look at that routing and see what the closest city is, and trust me, it is worth the trip.
All right. Well, like I said, though, you got to come in the studio and hang out with us one day, sometime in the next 5 years. What do you think, Mona?
Listen, it sounds like fun. I would love to.
All right, my dear. We'll have a magnificent. It sounds like you can just have a great summer, and I'm happy for you.
Well, it's definitely going to be work, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the faces on the fans as they're enjoying these tours.
It'll be terrific. Thanks for your time, Mona.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye. I love her. I mean, she reminds me so much of when I was a little, because I used to get talked to like that all the time. Here's what you're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it, and you're going to pay attention to me. I love that delivery. You must have heard that, Tevin.
Oh yeah, and she's obviously very enthusiastic about the tour because these are some of the like legendary names in the past, 20, 30 years of music. And so for her to be able to essentially just travel the country this summer and watch concerts, I'm jealous of her.
They're not coming to the Twin Cities though. Why?
No, but the Queens of R&B, they're going to be down in West Palm Beach down in July in your area. So yeah, if you want to stay through July and handle that humidity, you can see.
Honey, it's 110 degrees. Why do they never come to the Twin Cities anymore? These great touring shows.
I don't know, but a lot of times when they come here, they end up getting canceled because honestly, this market doesn't support artists very much especially larger venues. They have trouble selling a lot of tickets.
Really? Except for Taylor Swift, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I mean she can sell out the moon probably, but yeah, there's a lot of concerts that either get canceled or they have a very low turnout.
Yeah, and I feel like it's either the country music concerts at like Target Field that do pretty well. Yep. And I've just heard that the US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play isn't great for sound when it comes to concerts. Like it's great football.
Yeah.
But sound wise, like if you go for a concert, it's very echoey, and so it just doesn't draw as much. But yeah, like to Tevin's point, the kind of smaller, the Armory or First Ave or the Varsity Theater, those type of things, those sell out pretty well. The smaller venues.
Yeah,
that would make sense. Why don't we take a break? Be right back. Josh Arnold will join us right after this. In addition to having the best selection in town, K&L Surplus and Ammo also can help you sell your firearms safely and worry-free. Very, very important. You've inherited a collection of firearms from a loved one, don't know what to do with them, or if you have guns you're no longer using, call Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. Jim can help you sell those firearms safely and through consignment and auction. I know Jim. He's an extremely knowledgeable guy, great guy too. Will help you get top dollar, which is very important, of course. He will help you explore all the options and take the work and stress off of your shoulders. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, you are. There's no. I loved Mona. I thought Mona was wonderful.
Yeah, she was terrific.
Good guest. Good guess. Good call. Who set that up?
That was through Art. Yeah, we
Art.
got her through Art. So
we love you.
Shout out Art.
Who doesn't love Art? That's all I have to say. Get it? That's like a double entendre right there. The guy and actual Art.
Right.
See what I mean?
Oh,
Just get everybody all confused. It'd be unbelievable. Is Josh ready to go?
Ready to go.
Josh Arnold. How you doing, Josh Arnold? What's the latest?
The latest is it's a little damp outside.
Is it raining?
It's raining off and on.
Oh, okay.
Off and on. My assistant has told me watch out for flood warnings. And if we're talking about experts, and you call me an expert, well, an expert, of course, if we break it down, X is a mathematical unknown, and a spurt, of course, for all you farmers, is a drip under pressure. Hence, an expert is
what used to be a drip.
An unknown drip under pressure.
There you go. You are kind of an unknown drip, though. There's no question about it.
So we always like to have a little bit of fun.
A little bit of fun, exactly.
Today, what's new? We have the NASDAQ pulling back from a recent high. We have, as we've discussed before, the Dow Jones had crossed over the 40,000 mark. And when I started in business back in the late 70s, it was only hoped that the Dow Jones would cross 1,000.
Yeah.
And the Dow Jones was only in 3 digits. 3 digits, and it wasn't until August of 82 that the Dow crossed 1,000 and stayed there.
God, amazing.
And I do remember that. I did have several. I had two business partners, and they debated me on radio, saying that the Dow will never stay above 1,000. I said, sorry, guys. Once the Dow has now crossed this threshold, it will not look back. And it really didn't until 1987, when it pulled back a third, going from about 3,500 down to 2,500, and then turned around and went up. And one of my investment heroes, John Templeton, when asked in 1990, the Dow at that point was 5,000. And he was asked, well, what do you think about the Dow? Do you think it's going to go back down? It's way overvalued at 5,000 in 1990. And he said, 10,000 by 2,000. So he saw the Dow at 10,000 by 2,000, and people thought he was an idiot. I looked and said, John Templeton's not an idiot. He's one of the smartest and best long-term investors. He lost less money than anybody else in 1973 and 74, when the Dow Jones dropped 50% over those 2 years. And to go from 5,000 to 10,000 in 10 years was only a 7% per year increase in the Dow Jones. And all the experts then said that couldn't happen. I'm thinking, what do you mean, a 7% return per year on balance over that period of time? Hey, not only the Dow Jones, but the S&P on a long-term average is 10%. That's not every year, but that's the long-term average. So you just put that, as they say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Meantime, you love these old sayings.
Yes, I do. I love them. Yes.
Okay. For those people who think the Fed is going to cut interest rates, or still think the Fed is going to cut interest rates, sorry, Charlie, not happening anytime soon, because the Fed is still waiting for more data to support their thesis that inflation is under control and coming down to their 2% target level. And when it does hit the 2% target level, the Fed is still going to say, we're waiting for more data. So higher interest rates for a little bit longer, at least on short-term interest rates. I do believe that longer-term rates will start dropping a little bit, which would be a nice boost for the housing market. Now, we do have still plenty of earnings coming in. This week is big on retail numbers. I know, Tom, that you're a do-it-yourselfer, and Lowe's reported their numbers. They did a little bit better than the negatives that had been expected. So the do-it-yourselfers are back. Macy's, not a retailer stock that I want to own. They did better than expected and affirmed their full year guidance, but they're also closing 150 Macy's stores over the next year. Their high-end stores, like Bloomingdale's, they're doing gangbusters. And we've got Gap stores. They got an upgrade, so I guess people are back buying denim. But I don't know, to upgrade your denim, who does that? Once you have
right,
really,
right.
I mean, come on. When you were still wearing jeans, how often did you go get a new pair of jeans?
Yeah, not that often. You're right.
But I am seeing, just being out and about, I am seeing a lot more people back wearing Levi's. Levi's is a publicly traded company. Again, not a company I would want to go out and buy, but a company that I would consider. It's another local retailer, the bad boy, as one of my clients used to put it. The bad boy, you ask? BBY, bad boy, market symbol for Best Buy. Best Buy.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
Well, I thought, well, that's pretty clever. They used to call Coca-Cola, market symbol KO. I'd call it King Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always play around with, the symbols a little bit. So the bad boy could be in for a big run as we start coming up to a major refresh cycle with computers, and particularly the desire for computers that are able to handle artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence capabilities. Microsoft just announced they have some new computers coming out, new PCs that'll be coming out that'll be able to handle generative AI tasks. Apple, favorite Apple, introduced their new line of iPads that included their M4 processing chip, which handles generative AI tasks. And their new Macs coming out later this year also have this super high-speed M4 chip capable of handling generative AI tasks. And tomorrow night, the biggie in AI, NVIDIA reports their numbers, and they have been getting a lot of upgrades ahead of the numbers. And that, to me, provides a reason to have some caution about the stock, because should NVIDIA, where a lot is expected, only come in within the expected range, that would not be good for the stock's performance. That said, if it does pull back, this company has been firing on all cylinders. And should NVIDIA pull back on their earnings announcement, you might want to consider buying a little bit, as it is the leader in chips in that space. Around that, I would also look at some of the, we'll say, designers of the chips, including Taiwan, and manufacturers, including Taiwan Semiconductor and ARM Holdings. So a lot happening in a short period of time.
Very good, sir. We'll talk to you again on Friday, correct?
Correcto. And we'll have more information by then.
Sounds good, sir. We'll talk to you then. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen, take a break, be right back. I mean, Josh Arnold and Kristen Burt back to back. Two geniuses that close together. You know?
No arguments there.
Yeah.
See? We'll be right back. Kristen Burt joins us right after this.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. What's the buzz?
What's the buzz is that Graceland might be in foreclosure and go up for auction.
How could it be foreclosed on?
Oh, this is a good one. So just Lisa Marie Presley, we know, passed away in January of 2023. Her heirs, which is her daughter, Riley Keough, and she's got twin children as well. But Riley Keough is the executor and the heir who is managing everything. Comes to find out, she learns that her mother took out a $3.8 million loan from Nisani Private Lending, and she used Graceland as the collateral and failed to pay it back. So this loan was taken out about 6 years ago. Now, on Riley's side, her lawyers are saying that the documents are fraudulent and that she didn't take out the loan. And the judge has put a halt to the auction, which was supposed to happen on Thursday. But we will see how this plays out as they take a look over the documents to see if that is actually Lisa Marie's signature. But that would be a huge shock if Graceland gets sold on an auction. I mean, like, can you imagine someone else owns... Not the Presleys?
You know, you did this to me on purpose, didn't you?
I did.
You did it on purpose, and here's what you did on purpose. There are two ways to get home from here, to get to Minnesota from here. and one of them's through Memphis. I've never been to Graceland. I've driven by it, but I've never gone in.
You're going.
I'm going to have to go now. Yeah, Catherine will hate me, and it's your fault.
But it's a cool. I've never been either. Has Tevin, AJ? Have you guys been?
Nope, never been. Stopped in Memphis for ribs, but not for Graceland.
Oh, the ribs in Memphis are phenomenal. I got to go to Graceland. If there's got to be millions of dollars out there left over from Pretzel. I mean, Elvis had tons of money, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He was dying broke, and it was his ex-wife, Priscilla Presley, who turned the estate around by turning Graceland into a museum. Mm-hmm. And then Lisa Marie, I think, kind of inherited her dad's bad with money genes because she struggled with debt over the years. Now, and what happened is Priscilla Presley created Elvis Presley Enterprises and made this into a multi-million-dollar company, obviously doing licensing and doing things like making Graceland into a mansion. But the problem is Lisa Marie had trouble with finances and oftentimes struggled with debt. And then she sold some of her shares of Elvis Presley Enterprises, of which now the heirs, which is her underage, they're under 18, the twins. I think they're about 15 right now. And Riley Keough, they only own 15% now.
All right. There you go.
So a significant portion was sold off.
God, I just...
but I want to mention they own 100% of Graceland Mansion, just to clarify all of that.
Oh, they do. So
yeah. So the umbrella company only own 15%, but of Graceland they own, and the effects in it, they own 100%.
You know what's really weird about that is I remember, I don't know what year it was, but I was not a little kid anymore, but I was a younger person. I do believe I heard a story once and that was a lot of money back then, don't get me wrong, but somebody mentioned that Elvis bought Graceland for like $30,000.
Oof.
No?
Probably. Like, I just sit there and think about what real estate used to cost and what it costs.
Right. Yeah. Well,
when I see these really adorable, like 3-lot, open concept, mid-century modern ranch homes in Los Angeles, which are beautiful, and then they knock them down for ugly McMansions. But people are like, we bought this for $12,000.
Yeah, there you go.
And now it's selling for $5 million or more.
I wonder if it's true that he did buy it for $30,000 though, because that's, like I said, I've driven by it. It's a very impressive piece of property with the gates and all that.
Will you please go? Because it's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go, and you can give us all the details, all the insight.
That'd
and maybe
great.
what if it's not open anymore after this? Like, what if it does?
Well, exactly. So what if we go and we take Jude with us, and he starts hearing Elvis sing, and he starts howling? Oh,
because he ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Can I be the young, out of touch person here for a second and ask a question that I'm going to get made fun of for?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's the big deal? Like
Graceland?
It's a place, right? It's just like a house, or like what? I don't get it. I just don't get it. What's the allure to Graceland?
It was because he was a dirt poor kid, had absolutely no money, had a horrible childhood, and for a young kid like that to be able to rise up in America and buy a mansion behind a gate was a very, very big deal. That was a huge thing, and it hung on all these years. It's like a very dirt poor kid making good, man. That was a great American story back then. Not so much anymore, but it used to be.
Now, AJ, you would want to go there for all the effects, all the personal effects of his are there now. If you're a big Elvis fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going for a peanut butter and a banana sandwich, gonna get me through the night.
You guys, I hate peanut butter. Is that like un-American?
Oh, how the hell can you hate peanut butter? What's wrong with you?
Unless you have a peanut allergy, that is unacceptable.
Don't have a peanut allergy. I can eat peanuts like out of the shell, but if I even smell peanut butter, I start to like throw up. Isn't that weird?
Is that creamy and nutty?
I just can't handle the smell of peanut butter. And it is not like the smell of natural peanut butter, like the stuff that you would grind peanuts from, but like a Jiffy or a Peter Pan peanut butter. Can't even think about it.
I don't care if it's half plastic, I'm eating it.
And it's a weird It's like a weird visceral reaction to it. I don't know what it is.
But peanut butter and grape sandwich, grape jelly. Oh,
Yeah.
God, phenomenal.
What about like a Reese's peanut butter cup? Can you
I
do
can eat
those?
that because that's
Okay.
fake peanut butter. Yep.
Because it's fake peanut.
It is.
What a
and it's
class woman
something
you are.
about the smell of the actual peanut butter that I actually start to vomit. And
You do.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's very weird.
Hmm.
And it's got to be like some sort of like weird allergy, like you would think, because if I can eat a peanut,
Yeah.
I'm not allergic to peanuts per se.
Why did I not know this? Because I'd have been, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a jar of peanut butter.
Oh, no, you know what you can't do? I can look at a jar of peanut butter. I can't look at a jar of mayonnaise. So if you...
I hate mayonnaise. I'm right there with you on mayonnaise. It's like, ugh. A little dab is fine.
Yep.
But people that put this inch thick deal, I was like,
Oh.
oh, God.
Where it just drips off the sandwich when
Oh
they
my
pick
God,
it
it's
up.
so nasty. I love mustard. I can like drown anything in mustard, but
Yep.
mayonnaise, I can't even look at like it's sitting in a plate. Like, you know, if you have a sandwich bar or something, I'm like,
yeah.
whoa, like it just freaks me out.
So I have a question for you. There's only one kind of ketchup that I can eat, and I don't even know what it's called because I never eat ketchup. That sweet thing with ketchup, I just don't like that at all. But there is one ketchup out there that's really good, but I can't remember what it is.
I get it without sugar, so it does taste
Mhm.
different than like a Heinz or a Hunt.
Yeah, it's too sweet. Yeah, yeah, very good, but yeah, like sweet tomato. But you know, whatever. Look at all the stuff we have to bitch about in the world.
All of the condiment issues people
All
have.
the condiment issues. Oh God. Oh God, you just reminded me of Rocky 1. I think you should take some of your money and buy a condominium. Hey, I don't use them. He thought he meant condom.
No.
Condominium. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant there. Sly Stallone. All right, what else has happened you can depress the hell out of me with?
All right, I'll depress you with this. Just kind of a button on the Matthew Perry story. The feds are now involved on who supplied him with the ketamine.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they think it's a big ring or something or
maybe.
supplier or something else like that. But I guess they've been investigating locally, like people who have used this person or maybe had ties to Matthew Perry and some of his drug use. And they haven't made any arrests yet, but I feel like they think that this is something bigger. It's not just like a small situation where he got his hands on ketamine, which was kind of the secondary result of his death. Just a reminder that he died of cardiac arrest.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever deal with that, watching, a neighborhood kid die like Matthew? Like, you knew Matthew Perry was going to die at some point. You just knew it. That even though he's trying to break it, he just could never get past it, never get it done. And, I mean, let's be honest. When you found out he was dead, you were not surprised by that, were you?
I wasn't after watching the Friends reunion where I thought he was
Yeah.
under the influence of something. And he said he had gone to the dentist that morning, but it just
Right.
felt like something else. He didn't seem like himself.
It's just so sad getting all hooked on drugs. And I never did street drugs. I had no interest in doing street drugs because I had no idea what the hell it really was.
Well, now you have the fentanyl issue and you don't
Yeah.
want to get mixed up in that. But, there are actors, like I think a lot of people had a death watch on Lindsay Lohan back in the day.
Yeah.
Most certainly Robert Downey Jr. And both of them were able to really get their lives on track and have a career after their addictions. And I think that I don't know what it takes, did someone get through to them? Did they just wake up and go, oh my gosh, I don't want this. I
Right.
choose something else. So it's interesting for some people who can find a way out of it and other people just cannot. And it proves that money is not the issue because Matthew Perry went to some of the best or the so-called best rehab facilities in the nation multiple times
Yep.
and he still couldn't get sober.
No, I have to, just because of you. As soon as the show ends in a couple of minutes, go and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in your honor.
Do not
A
think of me.
peanut butter and a sandwich.
You
Come
can
on.
think of Kevin and AJ or Elvis, but do not think of me. I'll
You can
not
think
think
of-
your peanut butter sandwich.
You're the only person I've ever heard that does not like peanut butter.
My dad doesn't either, so maybe that is also genetic.
Oh, so you followed his lead of whining.
He also has that weird, like, cannot smell it. So I do think it's a weird gene abnormality.
You being weird? No, I don't.
Never.
Really see that. I don't see that happening. You know.
I'm gonna make sure I just tweet pictures of mayonnaise.
Yep.
I do not want to see. These are the things. Do not tweet me. Peanut butter, mayonnaise, eggs. What's the other thing? Tuna fish in a can and an egg salad sandwich. Those 5 things, please leave them off my timeline.
You know, I should get some hints from people because I'm going to be in a car for 3 days and I'm on an eating program. I'm not going to be able to walk as much as I've been because I'm going to be in a car 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. So I got to maybe get some hints from people like what to eat when you're on the road so you don't gain about 900 pounds.
This might not help, but Anthony writes and says, if you're stopping at Graceland, stop down the street at Marlowe's Ribs and Restaurant in Memphis.
See, I told you right there already.
It might ruin the diet.
On our way.
So you never know.
But if you eat the protein, just eat the protein. Just eat the ribs.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't mind the sauces that are.
Yeah, but I think you can do that. It doesn't matter because honestly, if you eat like the protein and then try and get like a side of like steamed vegetables instead of like the drowned in butter like deliciousness.
Yeah. The biggest problem I have with cafe or cafeteria food is there's so much salt in it. I don't eat a lot of salt. I like salt, but I don't eat a ton of it. And restaurants love their salt, man. There's no doubt about that.
Me too.
All right, well, I'm going to check with Catherine today, and because you can drive through Memphis and then you shoot up through St. Louis into Minneapolis. The other way, of course, you go around
St.
through
Louis
Atlanta.
is fun too, like the
St. Louis
Arch
is a great town.
and City Museum. If you've never been to City Museum, that is super fun. And St.
Tony's
Louis.
Steakhouse, where the guy escorts you up walking backwards up the stairs. Ah,
I've never been there.
Tony's Steakhouse, you got to go because it's phenomenal.
Is this a college campus tour? Like, what do you mean? He's walking.
He literally escorts you up to the tables backwards, so he has to make eye contact with you at all times. One of the greatest things I've ever heard. There was a guy that might have been from the old hillbilly mountains, which are not far from St. Louis. I will tell you that. He came in and he said, "Sir, may I help you?" And he goes, "What do you mean, may you help me?" He goes, "Well, I brought your fish, and what did you do with the bones?" And he said, "I ate them." He ate the bones of the fish. I've never heard of that. And the guy's like, doing this French deal in an Italian restaurant, which I don't really understand. But the guy ate like the backbone of the fish. He ate it.
That's crazy.
Whew. All right, it's time for me to go hurl. Look, I'm going to see if I can get Chris and Errol. Peanut butter.
No, we need smell-o-vision. So if like the smell walked in.
We get smell-o-vision going. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, though.
Sounds good.
I promise.
Take care, guys.
Thanks a lot. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That is going to do it for today. Again, no family show today because of all the things that did happen. They will happen. There will be a family show tomorrow and Thursday. So that'll be good. And they're going to have it Friday, too. I just won't be there on Friday because I'll be in a car on the way home. Any others? Okay, so I got to work on going. We got to stop at Graceland on the way home. Don't you think?
Might have to, yeah.
Yeah, just as an excuse to then also go get ribs at this Marlowe's.
Yes.
Marlowe's Ribs, baby.
Phenomenal.
I love it. All right, have a great day, fellows. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, talk to you then.
Bye.